All right, we are going to talk about athletes and sports today. So this one's going to be kind of dealing with and kind of dialed toward parents and youth athletes for the most part. Because what is the best way to get better at your sport? I'll kind of deal with baseball. Use that as my example here because that's what I'm familiar with mostly, and kind of the culture around that and everything works within it. But the best way to get better at baseball is to play baseball, to play more games of baseball. Basketball, you want to be a better basketball player, play more basketball. Football, same thing. Hockey, whatever your sport is, the best way to get better at your sport is to actually play your sport. But today's culture is all around more, especially baseball, basketball with the AAU, the club team culture, and it's just play 8,000 games a summer. Let's play a million games each weekend. And yeah, playing games can be great. If you are a great baseball player, basketball player already. But too many of these kids today, they're not good athletes at all. It's kind of embarrassing. Like I was subbing the other day in middle school Phi Ed and just seeing how uncoordinated, unathletic, not good athletes in general athletes these kids are. And that is not the kids' fault. Most of the fault, it's probably the parents, the adults, the coaches in their lives, the club sports, the AAU circuits that don't focus on any long-term athletic development. They focus on how can I make the most money right now and just put on these special clinics, these camps, these tournaments, this overkill, so to speak, of games and playing the sports when these kids aren't even good athletes. They're not any good. They're weak. They are slow. They can't jump. They can't sprint. They can't move effectively. They can't solve problems. That is because all they are doing is playing games when they're not even good at their sport. And they think they're going to get better, but they're just weak. They're slow. Those types of things. They're not able to do the things. And yes, there's the exceptions. There's the kids who are good already, athletic already, who are strong and fast and powerful already. But that's few and far between. And those kids, yeah, it's great for them to play games. I mean, even I'm not a big fan of the club system, the AAU system. It's not good in general. It's too much, too many games and too many different teams and all for the sake of better competition when it's not actually better competition. I've coached in the club scene, and it's not. It's a joke, to be honest with you. And it's just ruining it, and kids are just doing early specialization, not getting enough quality reps on building the qualities that will help them be a better baseball player, basketball player, just to be a better athlete in general. And I think more kids need to focus on that first. Building that long-term athletic development. Look at the overseas. Look in the NBA. All the best players in the NBA right now are from Europe. You got Giannis, you got Luka, you got Jokic. All these guys are long-term. Look at the way that Europeans develop sports. A lot of these kids probably didn't start out focused on just, here, specialize in this sport. They were free play. They were go outside and just mess around. Learn how to fall and roll and tumble and crawl and sprint and stuff like this. Playing games, challenge themselves, figuring out how their bodies work. I think that's a much better way. And then they get into it and develop the fundamentals and things like that, where we just skip right to let's go play these quote unquote high quality, high competition games with their AAUs and your club circuits. And it's not good quality for the most part. And most of these kids aren't even ready for it. It's just parents that want to spend money, they're gonna get it in, and the kids aren't getting cut. They're not seeing good competition. They're just playing games for the sake of playing games, and they're not improving the qualities. And the kids that are not good athletes are not ready, are not strong, fast, powerful, coordinated. They should not be playing more and more games because they're not going to be able to. Yeah, they might get better at baseball, but if you're weak, playing more baseball is not going to help you hit the ball out of the infield or out of the park, let alone out of the infield. It's not going to help you get faster. It's not going to help you work on just the fundamentals of fielding a ground ball or being able to go side to side laterally and move those ways, move effectively and solve those movement problems. You're not going to get that in a game because, again, Lord knows baseball, you're not always getting reps, especially in the field. With the pitcher, you're going to get some reps. You get some swings, but if you're hitting, but if you're an outfielder, infielder, you might not see the ball the entire game. So you're not going to get faster. You're not going to get stronger that way. Those kids, which is the majority, need to focus on general athleticism. They need to get faster. They need to get stronger. They need to get more powerful. They need to be able to jump and cut and dive and crawl and roll and hang. And you're not going to do that in a baseball game, in a basketball game, in a football game. That's why they should find a athletic development program. That's what we do here at TAG with our youth athletic development. It's focused on long term. We're not rushing these kids into anything. We're making it fun, challenging, getting them to do all these things like kids should be doing, and that is being a kid. Play, games, tag, handball, just different stuff like this. All these different games to let them learn and figure out these different skills and movements and problem solving that they're not going to do in a baseball game or a basketball game. Yeah, you'll have aspects of running the bases and stuff like that. But if they're slow, they're still going to stay slow because they're probably going to get tired during the game and stuff like that. Or if they're weak, they're going to stay weak because they're not taking time to develop these other qualities that you ultimately need to become great at a sport. The better general athlete you are, the better specific position, sport, whatever you're going to be. You'd be able to be that ceiling anyway. Again, you could be generally athletic and suck at a sport. There's plenty of people like that. Just like you can be good at a sport, but not a good athlete. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady is probably the greatest quarterback ever. He's a great quarterback. Would you say he's athletic? I would not say he's very athletic. He's got a great mind. He can think fast. And a lot of that can come too with training is that mental problem solving, learning how your body moves and putting yourself into different situations. And that's what we do with our coaching is get kids in different situations, different constraints, different things like that, to train their mind, to train their body, to train so they know how to move and change and adapt to these different situations. Whereas if they're just going and playing games over and over, but they don't have the physical qualities, the physical abilities, they're just going to stay the same. They're not going to get better. Sure, they might be able to make a little bit more contact with the ball, but they're not going to be able to throw harder. They're not going to be able to hit the ball farther. They're not going to be able to, cut their time from first to second throwing or stealing, or cut down the time it takes them to go to their right or left to field the ground ball at shortstop or third base or whatever it is, or track down a ball in the gap. Training that long-term athletic development, that general athleticism, the speed, the strength, the balance, the power, the jumping, those things, improving those physical qualities gives them a better chance to be better at their position, at their sport, at whatever it is they want to be in their sport and get better as it is. So it's going to make it a lot more easy or a lot easier to get better at their sport. And throwing harder is going to come easier. Hitting the ball farther, driving the ball to the gaps is going to come easier. If they're a basketball player, shooting deeper is going to be easier. Sprinting faster, jumping higher, and dunking and touching the rim, those types of things are going to come easier. So all these different physical qualities, these physical traits and characteristics need to be built outside of the games. Because just playing the games is not good enough anymore. It's not good enough, especially for athletes who are not good athletes. They think they're good athletes, but they're not. They can't jump, they can't throw, they can't. They're not strong. Yeah, sure, maybe they can lift a little bit of weight, but that's real strength that translates to the game, to the sport, to the baseball, to driving the ball farther, to throwing harder. These physical qualities and abilities are not going to get trained in the game, in just playing more and more games. So if you got club ball coming up, you got summer ball coming up, so you just want to play more and more and more and more games, but you're not any good in the first place, you're not a good athlete, it's not going to help. Again, yeah, sure, maybe you get a little bit better, make some better contact, and your hand-eye coordination, just seeing the ball from pitching, and because there's nothing that beats facing actual pitching. But if you get outside the games, get into a training program that's going to long-term develop, help you build that strength so you're able to throw harder, help you have the physical qualities, the arm strength, the leg strength, the core strength, to rotate better, to be more coordinated, to be more in sync when it comes to your windup or your pitching motion, to your swing, to just overall throwing, catchers, blocking and throwing down, all this stuff. Being better in tuned and having the physical abilities that you're a good athlete. You can sprint, you can jump, you can throw, hop, skip, crawl, roll, tumble, all this stuff. That's going to translate. That's going to make it a lot easier to be more powerful with your bat, with your throw, and you're going to be better in the game then too. Because then once you have the physical abilities down, then you take that and you build it in the reps with the games and the practices and stuff. Yes, you should be doing both. You should be practicing playing your sport, but you should also be training these physical abilities outside of that, because those physical abilities, once you have them, the speed, the power, the strength, you turn those dials up, you're able to lift more, to sprint faster, to jump higher. You turn those dials up, you got that. Then your level, the ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan said. And that's getting higher. And then your ability to be better, be a better pitcher, be a better catcher, be a better hitter, be a better shortstop, outfielder, a basketball player, whatever. That's going to go up because your physical qualities, your physical abilities are better. You are a better athlete in general. Then you can become a better specific position, specific sport. That's going to make it a lot easier. Then the games get easier. Then you start dominating the games. You're throwing harder. You're hitting the corners. You're swinging. You're driving the ball to gaps over the fence. You're stealing more bases. You're tracking down fly balls easier. All that good stuff. That comes with those physical abilities. But it's too often that we start specifying that we have to be a certain position right away. We have to play more games and more games all the time. You got tournaments and you're playing on 5 different teams at the same time, and that's not helping. Sometimes it's just pulling back, taking a step back, and dialing in excuse me, those physical qualities that your athlete needs to be good at a sport, and just to be a good general athlete in general. I don't know, that's probably using the word general too much, but being a good general athlete is what most people need. We tend to specialize too early, throwing the kids playing one sport all year round, just beating them down, getting them worn out, getting them, I don't know, if that were me, I would just be just so sick of playing that one sport. I know I'm sick of playing baseball after our 4 or 5 month season each summer, and it's just like, boom, I'm burnt out. Baseball stuff is away. We don't even want to think about that. Let's watch football. Let's watch basketball. Let's do something else. But I know I can always train general qualities outside of that, outside of baseball, things that are going to help me even as I get older. I'm in my 30s now. I still do a lot of general training because most people need more general training. You don't need as much specific training as you think, especially since we've been doing all that all our life. I've been playing baseball for 30 years. I've been playing basketball for 30 years, football for 30 years, doing all this stuff that taking a step back, pulling away, and focusing on those general qualities, especially for the young kids, rather than, let's just sign them up. You're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Let's sign you up for every club team or every AAU team. No. Stop. Your kid doesn't need to play 35 games each week and then go on some tournaments every weekend and you're playing 4 or 5 games a day. That's just ultimate burnout, and it's overkill. Let's get your kids in a gym. Let's get your kids able to get strong. Have them do push-ups. Learn how to crawl. Learn how to jump, hop, skip, tumble, climb. All the stuff that kids should be doing. And then they don't get it because they don't have enough gym time. They don't have enough recess time in school. They're sitting all the time behind computers and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong. I love video games. Kids should play video games. Video games are a great way to solve problems. You can focus on hand-eye coordination. But again, that's part of it. It's not the entire thing. That's not all they should be doing. Computers and video games, that should be part of it. Again, just like training needs to be part of it, that general qualities, just like playing your sport needs to be part of it. It's about fitting the puzzle pieces together to help these athletes become the best they can. And I think most of them need more general athletic training, especially the ones I've seen in here in River Falls, because there's not seen a lot of the young athletes. They're not that athletic. They're not. Parents think they are, but again, a lot of the problem is the parents. Parents not having good coaches in the youth programs, and even as they get older too, not having coaches that allow them to problem solve, or it's just instead of forcing them and telling them everything they need to do, we need to allow these kids to challenge themselves and learn to solve problems. And that's what my coaching is all about. Yes, I coach. I make sure they know what they're doing and that type of thing, and give them cues and that type of stuff. But most of the time it's listening to them and watching them and observing them, how they move, how they adapt, how they respond, rather than just, you have to do this certain way, because I don't want robots. No one wants robots. That's the problem too, is a lot of these training programs, they build robots. They don't build human beings. Everyone has to move the same, doing all these stupid drills. It's like they try to make it so much harder to sprint than what is going to help these kids get faster. It's sprinting. It's not doing an A skip and a B skip and then a wall thing and then sit on the ground and pump your arms as fast as you can. That crap ain't going to make you faster. Let's get 2 kids out together. Let's have them race. There's a high thought process, man, super challenging thing that it should be written about. To sprint, you need to get faster, you need to sprint. It's that simple, and let's have them sprint in a million different ways. We'll have them jump in a million different jump variations, over things, off things, around things, over kids, whatever. Having crawl, roll, throw. We overcomplicate it, just like we do with these AAUs and clubs and sports and all that stuff. It's overcomplicated when it should just be simple. Get better at your sport, play your sport. But a lot of times, more games is not going to help give you the time to get better and build the physical qualities, because a lot of these physical qualities, like I said, are going to help the kids become better athletes So let's help them. Let's help them build these physical qualities of speed, the strength, the power, coordination, balance through training. And then they can take that into their games, into their practices, and they're going to get so much better at their sport, at their specific position. So that's what I have for you today, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you again soon.